Hi Stampers, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs, and I have a new project to show you today. If you'll notice, the butterflies that I stamped on my card are actually not a stamp. I'm going to show you how to make your own stamp using the butterfly framelits dies. And we're going to use different ink colors today just to change it up a little bit. So you'll need Memento Black, Tip Top Taupe, and Bermuda Bay. And if you do want to create the same colors that I used here, all you would need to do is use the Calypso Coral ink. For cardstock, you're going to need Whisper White, measuring 4 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches. Basic Black, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And Tip Top Taupe, measuring 8.5 by 5.5 and scored in the center at 4 1/4. You're also going to need a piece of window sheet, and I'll show you why I use this once we get going. The only embellishment on my card today is the Rhinestone jewels, which I keep in a clear case. Easy storage, and as you can see, I can hold quite a few packages there. So that's a good idea for storage. For stamp sets, we're going to be using Awesomely Artistic, and I'm just using this stamp image here for the background, and Butterfly Basics, and all I'm using is the sentiment, the happy birthday sentiment. And you're also going to need a piece of fun foam, and I just used white because that's what I had on hand. And that's where I actually come up with my stamp image, is by cutting the butterfly framelits dies into the fun foam. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in my Big Shot machine. That's how we're going to cut our butterfly die. And I'm going to place the fun foam right on. I've got the magnetic platform, the clear cutting plate, and then I'm just going to put my butterfly. I should be able to fit 2 on this piece. And then I'm going to use the clear plate on top of that and just run it through. And I like to run it through forward and then run it through again going backwards, just so I get a nice clean cut. Sorry about my arm there. So let's remove the Big Shot. And as you can see, it cuts very nicely through the fun foam. The only thing, you're going to have to punch out all of the loose pieces here. I tried using the dryer sheet technique on this, and it didn't stick to the dryer sheet. So you are going to have to punch out all these pieces. But it's very well worth it in the end when you have it all situated for stamping. So I'm going to continue doing these. I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back once I have them all punched out for you, so you don't have to watch me do that. Hi Stampers, I'm back, and as you can see, I removed all of the butterfly guts, and I'm just going to discard those. So I now have my butterfly all cut out and all the holes are punched out. So now the next step, and why I'm using a window sheet, I'm going to flip the butterfly over to the side that I don't want to stamp on. And I'm going to take my Tombow liquid glue. This is a glue that you can allow to dry, and once it's dry it becomes tacky, so it can be repositionable. So I'm going to use that on my butterfly, and I'm just going to kind of put it between the layer, between all the dots. You can see some nice flat edges here. Really don't need to put a lot, because all we're going to do is make this tacky so that it will become a stamp for a clear block. Okay, I've got that all on there now, and what I'm going to do is take my finger and actually just spread it. So as you see, it doesn't take long to put this on. And we're going to let this dry. And while I set this one aside to dry, I'm going to bring out the one that I've already made. And this is the reason for the window sheet. Because the back of this is now tacky, I can put it on a window sheet for storage, and it stays flat for when you want to use it again. So now I'm going to bring in a clear block and position my butterfly. And as you can see, because of the tackiness, it does not come off my clear block. So now we are ready to stamp. I'm going to bring in my Whisper White layer and my Bermuda Bay ink. And I'm going to turn my ink pad upside down and ink it this way. And it does take the ink pretty well. Press down and hold for a little bit and pull off. Isn't that beautiful? See how nice that stamps? It's really nice and clear. I'm going to add one more, just a partial part of the wing. Press down and hold. And that's my card base, or my card layer. Now what I usually do is take a baby wipe. I don't dare do it on my scrubber pad because I don't want to ruin the foam. But as you see, most of it's going to come out. It is going to stain. And if you keep rubbing, most of it does come out, and you'll see that the foam turns out pretty light when you're done. Bring in one more baby wipe. So now all I'm going to do is peel it off my clear block and put it on my clear sheet, and you're ready to go for next time. Now let's finish up our stamping. Going to bring in the Tip Top Taupe with the little dotted image. And I'm just going to add some here and there. And next up, we're going to do the image using the Memento black. Whoops. And then all we have left to do is to assemble our card. And what I did is I used stamping dimensionals on the back of my Whisper White layer. And glue that to my basic black. And then we're going to glue our black to our Tip Top Taupe card base. And lastly, I'm going to add some rhinestone jewels. Just going to add a couple amongst the splatters. And there you go. 2 cards. This is the one we just made, and I allowed the glue to dry while I was assembling the card. And it's dry and tacky already, so I'm ready to put this on a window sheet. So I'll bring in my window sheet and stick that to it, and now I have 2 to use as a stamp. I hope you enjoyed my video for today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment on my YouTube video or to email me. I'll have all the information on the supplies that I used today and how to get to my online store to make any of these purchases. Have a good day, and thanks for stopping by.